Good evening, everyone. Welcome to InTouch, a masterclass on school products powered by Brainwonders in partnership with Stones2Milestones. This fourth edition of Masterclass series will take you on a short journey of introducing you to 30 innovative school products selected from across India. In this masterclass, innovative products, informative content, and progressive ideas are being shared with you. We remain hopeful that this and the previous sessions will inspire you to take your school community to a new direction of development. My name is Namrata and I will be your moderator for today. I represent India's largest counseling organization, Brainwonders. With 108 global centers and 12,000 connected schools, Brainwonders has been revolutionizing the face of academic guidance, career development, and personal growth via its US patented DMIT and online psychometric tests. Founded by Mr. Manish Naidu over the past decade, Brainwonders has been nationally awarded on 7 different platforms, including recognition for being the most trusted and digitally innovative career counseling company. Excellence and passion is what Brainwonders strives for, and with that, let's begin today's session. Before I welcome today's speaker, I request all our audience to truly immerse themselves in the session and hold their questions, which will be addressed right after the session. I present to you today's speaker, Aditi Mehta, who is the Director of Academics of Stones2Milestones. In Aditi's own words, my wonderful, open minded parents brought the joy of books to me, and my life continues to be shaped by what I read and where I travel. I wander, wonder, learn, love, and serve. Aditi's imagination and diligence, coupled with an intense desire to serve and contribute, make her listen deeply and express articulately, not only with her teammates but to schools, teachers, and children equally. She holds a master's degree in organizational and social psychology from the London School of Economics. She is trained in curriculum development, research, counseling, and coaching from Harvard University. Reading and education are both her areas of passion. For the past decade, she has been designing and creating curricular frameworks and English learning programs for young children, along with the innovative learning and development experiences for teachers. She creates innovative ways for teachers to collaborate and share the best practices with each other to deliver impactfully in an online as well as the offline environment. At Stones2Milestones, as Director of Academics, Aditi and team have created a comprehensive learning English language program that accelerates and ensures students achieve academic excellence through excelling in the use and understanding of the English language for the ages of 3 to 12. Today's session topic hence is how excellence in English language accelerates academic success. Over to you, Ms. Mehta.
Thank you so much, Namrata. I hope you can all hear me well.
Yes, you're
Great.
audible and visible.
Super. Thank you so much, and very exciting to meet our audience here. Also wonderful to see what you all at Brain Wonders have been doing. And it's lovely. This is a wonderful confluence where we kind of prepare the children through immersive language learning experiences to come to you, and then you at Brain Wonders can help them achieve their full potential by really recognizing what they're wonderful at. I'd love to welcome our audience. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday evening. And I'm just going to share my screen. Namrata, do help me check if you
Of
can
course.
see it clearly, please.
Yes, it's visible.
Lovely. Very warm greetings to one and all once again. My name is Aditi, and I'm the Director of Academics for an organization called Stones2Milestones. We may have had the privilege of working with a lot of you in the audience as well. Um, at Stones2Milestones, we believe that reading and English are life skills that all children should get, and to make this possible and available to all of us, we bring to you freedom, a beautiful ecosystem that brings the love for language alive in children. I will be making a presentation, and then I'd love to take some questions and thoughts that you have at the end. Today, we are going to talk about how excelling in the English language helps accelerate academic success. For us at Freedom and Stones to Milestones, academic success is not just limited to the marks that you would get in an exam. Academic success is also the fluency of your thought, the confidence with which you're able to talk and express yourself, and truly just express what you need and what you want. A new operating system can make a phone smart. All of us have incredible phones that we use every day. They just seem to get better and better with time. A new AV unit can make a classroom smart. All of us know the importance of having a quote unquote digital environment in the platform, in the classroom, where we can show how audiovisual tools can enhance children's engagement and learning. But it is only immersive English language learning that can make a child smart. And a child is at the heart of the Stones to Milestones and Freedom language learning ecosystem that I'm going to talk to all of us about today. English is extremely aspirational. And this data, when I found out about this, it kind of, it shocked me. This slide talks about the average number of hours per week that parents help their children in doing their homework and in meeting their academic goals. As you can see, India is at the top of the table. Indian parents spend a minimum of around 12 hours, and Indian parents spend an average of about 12 hours a week helping their children with their schoolwork and their homework. And the second country in the list is Turkey, which is a good 3.5 hours behind what we in India help our children to do. So it shows us that English and to learn English is quite aspirational. It is something that we as educators, we as parents, we as school leaders really, really want our children to learn well. And it is aspirational to learn English for a reason. It is the language in which our world works. It is the language of business. It is the language of education. It is the language that we as a country use to connect with one another, given our massive language and cultural differences. If you look at languages dominating the internet, you will see that most of the information available online is also in the English language, over 50%, in fact. It makes English a kind of a non-negotiable life skill. We don't only need English nowadays to, to just learn a new language. We need it to live life well. We need it to succeed in our careers. We need it to interact with the world. We need it to obviously do well academically. And we need it to really just feel a part of this ever-changing, ever-growing world and environment around us. If we look at data, and as somebody who heads academics for Freedom, Stones to Milestones, I think looking at data is something that I hold very, very dear. Globally, one of the biggest concerns parents have about their children's future is whether they will have a job and a successful career. We as educators and we as school leaders also talk about this a lot. Our other concern is also how children's quality of life in adulthood will be, right? What will their careers be like, and how will they financially be able to support themselves? And we are concerned that children today go to happy learning environments in school and enjoy school. And I feel like this is something that ties in so well with what we spoke about earlier, right? English is aspirational. English is a non-negotiable life skill. And if we learn English well, if we start teaching our children English well right from the very beginning, we're kind of guaranteeing that they have avenues to explore successful careers, and that the quality of life that they can make for themselves as adults is better. There are many gateways in which to immerse in the English language. And for us at Freedom and for us at Stones to Milestones, reading is at the heart of building the skill and the will to learn a new unknown English language, to learn a new and unknown language. Let me take this opportunity to maybe interact with Namrata a little bit. Namrata, is it possible for you to just come on video?
Yes.
Thanks. Namrata, can you tell me what your mother tongue is?
My mother tongue is actually Bhojpuri, which I'm not very fluent in, but I've grown up mostly Hindi. Yeah, Hindi is what I have been comfortable with.
So, safe to say that your language of love at home is Hindi, and that's how you interact with one another.
I mean, now it is a mix of English and Hindi, but yeah, childhood was definitely mostly Hindi.
Lovely. And I safe to assume you also went to an English medium school like most of us did.
Yes.
Okay. So as a child, right, and I'm asking you to go back a little bit. As a child, when you entered that English medium school for the first time, and you saw all these words written in different languages, and you saw this teacher, talking to you in a different language that may not have been your language of love at home, how did you feel? What came alive for you?
Um, I think we're going way, way back because that time, anyways, the school itself is such a new experience, right? And now when I
Yeah,
look back, probably it's because I have also grown up watching other kids, read and write in preschool, primary school. Somehow I don't remember them writing in Hindi. I remember them writing. I remember the checkbook of that box
correct.
pages of maths. I remember that red and blue line for English.
Yes,
Hindi, for some reason, it's just coming to me in school, not the pre-primary school. And I'm sure a lot of times, so I knew what my mom's and dad's name were, where we lived, everything. But in Hindi, if anybody says, okay, my mama papa ka naam kya, so you could just say that. But
you
in
can just
English,
say that.
we were taught to say, my
Correct,
father's name is, my
correct. It's
mama's
a
name, my
learned,
mother's name is so and so.
correct. It's something
Yes, it's
that
a very learned
it's a very learned
experience.
process.
You keep checking yourself that, okay, is it
Correct.
right? I mean, Hindi, I don't think if you call Papa or Pitaji, nobody would actually correct you, right? But in English, the people would correct, like, no, no, father, father,
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was a. Now, I think a 3-year-old me was quite confused about why am I reading everything in a language that I don't speak.
And this is exactly I love that last statement. And this is exactly what children, really little children who enter school feel, and we as adults
If I could
forget that they do.
add something, English
Please.
was a subject. It was not a
Right.
language.
Correct. And
It was
that
a subject.
that difference, Namrata, I mean, it is so beautifully worded. And there are two very important things that you're saying here. And I love this. I love the fact that I can interact with the audience directly and not, and not via the PPT. And I'd love the audience to leave some comments on chat if they feel like. Two very important things. We as adults, we have been reading, writing, speaking, and listening in English for a fair amount of time, at least for 15 to 20 years. And it's a long enough time for us to forget that English is actually a foreign language. It is not the language of love that we are all born and brought up with. How would you feel if I say, oh my God, Namrata, you're doing such a great job. I'm just going to pick you up and like put you in a completely different country, maybe like Japan, and say, I want you to now start succeeding in Japan right away, right? And the first thing that you would need is, oh my God, new country, new language. I need some time to get used to this. And it's exactly that jarring experience that children who enter English medium schools for the first time end up feeling. It is, it is very important to realize that, like you said, Namrata, English is often referred to as a subject, but the difference that we at Stones to Milestones and Freedom are bringing is to introduce the fact that English is no longer a subject. It cannot afford to be a subject. English and the ability to read, write, speak, and listen and express well in English is actually a life skill that all of us need to succeed in our day-to-day lives. Thank you so much for participating with me, Namrata. It
Thank
was
you so much for giving me the opportunity.
it was it was really fun interacting with you. And please tell me if you can see my slide again.
Um, yes, it is loading now.
Okay. Can you see
It's
it now?
visible.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, for us at Freedom and Stones to Milestones, reading, like I said, there are multiple gateways in which to explore language. And for us, reading is the gateway with which we would love for the children to communicate and understand and express themselves in English. The equation is very simple. I love the analogy of input and output. If I input good food in my body, the output is good health and better immunity. If my input is a good exercise regimen, the output is strong muscles, a stronger body, more agility and fitness. In the same way, if input is a good reading centered language immersion program, then the output is confidence in expression, oral expression and written expression, and confidence in just being a lot more, and the confidence of possibilities that we have. So reading, it leads to academic success. It promotes overall language proficiency, and it develops very, very critical life skills. And I don't think all of us here are school leaders, all of us here are educators, and I don't think there's anyone who can kind of compete with this information. There's nobody who can say that no, English reading does not lead to academic excellence. Let me also talk about the process of reading a little bit more. When I say the word cat, for instance, right? I say the letter CAT. Automatically in our minds, we know that it makes the word cat. And in all of our minds, there is an image of a cat that has come up. Can you maybe raise your hand, or can you put on chat if you got an image of a cat in your mind? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Right now, all of us have got the image of a cat in our minds, but the image of the cat that we have in our minds is different from each other. But what we did is actually the art of making meaning. We associated a word with its meaning, and the image automatically came in our minds. Yale University says that 3/4 of students who are poor readers in 3rd grade will remain poor readers in high school, giving them a lifelong disadvantage. And the definition of a poor reader is somebody who can decode but not make meaning, somebody who can read the words but not comprehend, or somebody who can't even read the words. And this is the real struggle that we are facing. Since English is a major international language, the ability to read fluently is a critical factor in academic success. However, for some reason, Indian children continue to trail behind in this ability. Um, we ran a massive assessment across the country. And there is real hardcore data that tells us that children in grade 4, out of the 7,200 children who participated in this assessment, only 12.5% could read and comprehend proficiently. In grade 5, that number plummeted to just 2.1% of the children who showed advanced comprehension and vocabulary abilities. And the saddest thing, right, for someone like me, for someone who loves to read, as Namrata also said in her introduction of me, is that the love for reading reduces drastically with age. So if you can see my slide, you will see that the green refers to the answer yes, and the pink or the purple color refers to the answer no. In grade 4, there are very few children who said, no, I don't like to read. And this number kind of increases quite drastically as children increase in age, which is something that we as educators, something that we as educators who are empowering children with life skills really, really need to worry about. So when somebody is a fluent reader, they're able to focus their attention on the comprehension of the text. Right? You can read. I'm sure all of us are fluent readers here. We are reading what's coming on the slide, and we're able to talk a lot more, and we're able to grasp a lot more information. Whereas non-fluent readers who are still at the decoding stage but not at the meaning making stage, they focus a lot of their attention on figuring out what the words are. So there is less attention that they can devote to comprehension. This results in subjects like maths being a reading problem. And this is a very, very important point to make. In mathematics, when children are confronted with a numberless problem, which is what we usually refer to as a word problem, I'm sure a lot of us find that children struggle to understand what it is all about. And this is not a mathematical deficiency. This is a comprehension problem. By a show of hands, is there anyone who can relate to this problem? That we find that children do really well in mathematics when, young children especially, do really well in mathematics when when it's a number focused problem, but that ability decreases a little bit as it the set of problems become a lot more word focused. Thank you so much. A lot of you have raised your hands, and I know I can empathize with you fully, because this is a very real problem, and it is not a mathematical problem. It is a reading comprehension problem, right? I mean, it whenever you are confronted with a mathematical problem, you have to actually make sense of it. You have to understand what certain words mean, categorize information in a different way, and then think and then respond. So, coming to the root of the problem, right? How is it that we can solve this? And I just want to take a second to talk about what we have already covered. We started talking about how English is very aspirational. Thank you. I'm just seeing the chat, and thank you so much for this beautiful conversation that we have going on parallelly. Children are unable to comprehend word problems. We started off by talking about how English is an aspirational skill. To know English is not only an aspirational skill anymore, but it is a life skill. There are multiple gateways in which to learn a language, and especially when young children start their language learning journeys, the gateway to that journey, what Stones2Milestones and we at Freedom propose, is through the reading gateway. We spoke about the input and the output. So we spoke about, if the input is reading, then the output is incredible confidence, communication, vocabulary, and spoken word fluency. And we saw real hard data, right, in terms of what is our country's and what is our children's language learning ability. We see that comprehension decreases over time, and more importantly, and a lot more sadly, the love for reading decreases over time. We as educators, we as school owners, what we want our children to, what we want our children to go back with is a real love for reading, a real love for learning. And when we see that love decreasing, it's sad. And so we're all here to talk about innovations that we can use to solve this problem. I hope all of you are feeling well and fine. Do raise your hand if everything is okay and you are with me right now. If you wish, and I'm going to do this as well. Thank you so much. Just take a quick stretch, because I've been talking for a while, and it'll just be helpful to move your body around a little bit when we start talking about how is it that we can really solve this problem. I'm going to share my screen once again, and Namrata, I will just request your, just let me know if you can see it clearly.
Yes, Aditi, it's good to go.
Great. So this is my favorite part, right? So how can we solve this problem? And as a solution to this problem, as an educator, as somebody who loves language, as someone who is just so deeply concerned about our nation's and our children's ability to express confidently, I am so very proud to introduce what we call the Freedom Live ecosystem. Freedom Live. So Freedom Live classes are a set of online language classes designed to help children of nursery to grade 6 so far. This is designed to help children specifically in the age range of 3.5 to 12. And I love this age range, and I'll tell you why. Those who are between the ages of 3 to 9, right? They are in a phase that we call the learning to read phase. Those who are in the ages of say 9 to 15, 9 to 16, they are in the reading to learn phase. And those who are in the ages of say 16 to 106, which is all of us here included, we are in the age where we read to succeed. And our work is to ensure that children between the ages of 3 to 12 uh, read and express themselves with complete immersion in the language. I love the word immersion, and I love the image it gives in my mind, right? Immersion is literally you're taking someone and then dunking them into something really wonderful and really beautiful. So Freedom Live classes are a set of online classes. They are a set of teacher-led engaging classes that help children succeed in oral and written communication skills through an English language immersion program. The USP of this program is that A, it nurtures confidence and it helps children shed their shyness. B, it helps master reading comprehension and helps children become fluent communicators. I think reading comprehension, we have seen a lot of data to tell us how important this input of reading comprehension is great for the output of confidence and communication that we want in children. And these classes are teacher-led, engaging, nurturing, and energy-giving. I love the use of the word energy-giving. And if you are with me, you will see how full of energy I am right now because of this incredible interaction that I'm having with all of us. We have seen in the last year or so that children have had to adapt to a phygital mode of learning and a phygital mode of being, which is partly physical and partly digital. And this mode is here for us to stay. Now, what's most important is for us as educators and school leaders to deliver the most impactful experiences in the shortest amount of time in the best way possible. These kind of experiences are experiences that come when you go into something and you feel energetic and you come out of it. These are not the experiences where again, oh my god, one more online class, I'm so tired. I'm so proud to say that in Freedom Live classes, for instance, children love to keep their videos on and they love to talk over each other and they love that there is a teacher who can pay attention just to them. So it's very important for all of us to realize that this set of live classes that we have as a solution to this problem, they are teacher-led, nurturing, and very high in their energy quotient. This is an image from one of our classes. You will notice that the maximum number of children that we have in a class is 7. So there is a lot of individual attention that each child gets in a 45-minute period. And we guarantee increase in children's confidence, communication, and reading comprehension skills. And this is across all ages that we work with, children who are in the learning to read phase and children who are in the reading to learn phase, both of them. The content that is taught in the class is skill-based. And this is where I want to, really compliment Namrata on what she said earlier. She said that, English is a subject, but the way we approach English is English as a skill, English as a life skill. And when you see and approach anything as a skill, nothing seems impossible because you're building right from the basics. And one of the most amazing things about the program is the fact that our teaching is scaffolded. That means we help children develop a skill, and then using that skill, we help them develop one more skill, and so on and so forth. And that's how the whole building of incredible English communication and fluency is built. Now, at the very beginning, when we spoke about the solution to this, we said that Freedom Live classes are an ecosystem. So what is this ecosystem, right? Now, the ecosystem is something where there is a child, obviously, there are teachers, obviously, and then there is an app that school leaders and parents get to nurture reading in homes and schools. And this app is called the Freedom app. You're all welcome to download the app. It's free and available on the Play Store, on the App Store. It's also available on the web. The spelling is very beautiful, Freadom, Freedom, emphasizing the read and emphasizing that reading and beautiful reading levelized, age-appropriate reading will really set us free. So, freedom. Now, what makes Freedom app incredibly special, apart from the fact that it's used by lakhs and lakhs of children across the country, is A, on the app, you can read as many stories as you want. In fact, there is over 18,000 hours of content on the app. And it ties in very beautifully with everything that you learn in the live classes. So you can read stories, you can do activities, you can, do quizzes at the end of stories and activities and come on top of the leaderboard that you see here. And every day you can access a beautiful, positive piece of news that is written only and only for children at a certain age. So their GK is improving, language skill is improving in the class where there is a 1:7 teacher to student ratio. uh, Lots of activities are happening in the classroom. The teaching is scaffolded. The content is interactive and vetted and age appropriate, and there is an app to kind of complete that ecosystem at home, right? So a child is getting access to incredible resources from a lot of other places. uh, and when we work together, this is what schools actually gain. And this is my favorite part, because I as an individual have worked with over, I don't know, 1100 schools. And it's just, I cannot talk more about how the intention of the schools and the teachers to do more for their children, right? It's only evolving and evolving and evolving and just getting stronger with time. And so it's like, what we would love to partner with schools to empower schools to do is to have children who have more confidence in their abilities, is to have children who can competently represent the school in speaking or writing based contests at city or district levels, and more importantly, children who can perform better academically because of their superior reading comprehension skills. I will repeat this. I think this is very important. Schools gain children who have more confidence, children who can competently represent their schools in whatever platform you have them on, either online or offline, and children who perform better academically because of their superior reading comprehension skills. Schools also gain platforms to showcase their children's abilities. So as a part of the Freedom Life program, if your children are with us, they get, after they have finished a certain set of classes, they get access to their own blog, which is called the Freedom Blog, on which they can write content. And this content is easily shareable to anyone across the world, right? And more than that, on the Freedom app itself, the stories and the poems that children write are presented in a way which is available for the lakhs of users on Freedom to see. So let me give you data just from the last kind of 30 days that I have, right? There are about 32 children in the last 30 days who have uploaded their stories on the Freedom app for the world to read. It's so incredible that each child's story has on an average been read by 778 other people. And the story that has been read the maximum number of times is close to 5,000. Imagine being a third grader and having 5,000 children read your story. And out of those 4,000 or out of those 5,000 children, 2,700 children kind of finishing and liking your story and doing kind of a quiz activity after it. So what the schools and children have to gain is incredible in this partnership. There's more confidence, there's more academic performance, there's more competence in the children, and there are two incredible platforms, incredible child-friendly platforms used all across the country to display children's abilities to the world. And at this moment, I just quickly want to look at the chat uh, and kind of, thank you so much for your enthusiastic responses. I'm very passionate about what I talk about. I'm very passionate about building English as a life skill in children, and it is the most important thing for us that schools schools like yours and us can work together to create a world in which a child is happy, productive, and free. A world in which a child is able to express themselves in orally and in writing, and also gain appreciation for that expression. I think that's incredibly important, because when children come to us, they come to us from different settings, right? Some of them are first generation learners. Some of them may not have had parents who have had the same education that they have. Some of them may live in small cities where opportunities are limited, and language and learning English as a life skill is just an incredible way to kind of surmount all of those opportunity gaps as well. Um, I would love for all of us to watch a movie now that talks a little bit about what happens in our live classes. It'll also give you a little bit of break from me. I know you've been listening to me very patiently for the last 35 minutes, and thank you so very much for that. Um, and Namrata, I'll take your help once again in just checking if the video is playing well and you can hear. So now we're
So
gonna play a
now we're
little
gonna play a
game.
little
Are you
game. Are
ready?
you ready?
Yes,
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 Let's do a roller clap. Roll and clap. Amazing. So do you think ghost stories are real or not real?
not real. I'm not real. It is not real.
So today we're gonna understand about what is fiction and what is non-fiction.
Man, the fiction is that the story that we think, and the non-fiction is that story we didn't think, and it will be real.
I'll show you a book and you have to tell me if it is fiction or non-fiction. Okay?
After we had his freedom online trial class, he was very excited. He came to me and said that he wants to enroll himself for the further classes.
My son rarely used to speak in English, but after I enrolled him in F-Life classes, he is able to speak in English well. Not only speak in English, he is able to comprehend and express his thoughts. Thanks to F-Life facilitators who are smart and bring out the best in your child.
Can you all hear me? Namrata, can you hear me? Is this fine?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, lovely. Thank you so much for your attention. This film was kind of designed to give you a little bit of a of a glimpse into the world of a Freedom Life class. It's a 1:7 live class. It's built for children between the ages of 3.5 to 12. It helps children read well, write well, express well, communicate well, and we would love for all of us to just experience this product and work together to make it happen for children. So now we're gonna play a little game. Um, uh, Thank you so much for your time. I think I have taken all of my 38 minutes and I have not even realized how time has passed. The audience has been wonderful, and Namrata, so have you. We're going to, I would love to take questions, and I would love to, I would love to interact with the audience if at all. If there are questions in the chat box, I'm going to stop
Yes.
presenting my screen.
Sure.
So that we can just take some questions.
So thank you for having such a nice, it was such a feel good session, I'd say, about something that we all of us take for granted, that is English. I mean, we have been having all the sessions in English, we have been having all the communication in English, we crack jokes in English, but I think we don't realize how foreign it still is, how we still have to translate in our mind before we say something. Right. So, yes, I'm sure we would have a lot of questions as we already have a lot of appreciation in the chat box for your session. Dear participants, you can start presenting your questions. You can type it out in the chat box. You can use the activities button as well to raise the questions. And of course, there's a raise a hand option. I do remember that some participants did want to, interact in the middle of the session and they had raised their hand. So yes, all of you, you can do that even now. So you can just raise your hand or type out your questions in the chat box, and I'm sure Ms. Mehta will be here to address them. So Sudhanshu has raised a hand. Yes, you may unmute yourself and present the question.
So do you also work on communication skills, and how does, because your presentation talked about reading skills, which is definitely very important, do you also work around communication and other aspects of English language?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I spoke about the input and the output metaphor. So for us, reading comprehension is like an input, and the output that we gain through reading comprehension is incredible communication, incredible speaking, and incredible oral and written skills. Um, the way our classes are designed is children learn certain reading comprehension strategies and then do maybe spend 10% of time learning about reading communication strategies, and then spend about 40% of the time applying those strategies in various forms, oral and written. So we've had lots of parents who've come back and said that I don't know what is this magic happening in Freedom Life classes, because my child is just suddenly so much more confident in the school classes as well, because the child is raising their hand, he's responding to the teacher more, he's interacting with his classmates more. So yes, Sudhanshu, to answer your question, we definitely work on all kinds of oral and written communication. We work on empowering the child and kind of making them a lot more confident, so that language as a barrier is not something that they ever have to deal with.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear participants, you can continue presenting your questions in the chat box as well.
I think there are a couple of raised hands.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay. Sure, ma'am, you can go ahead.
Yeah, very good evening to all. It was very nice talking to you both, in fact. And thank you for the points which you have given. But as a teacher, I would like to know, do you take any sessions for the teachers to make this interaction of the class and make the English subject, especially the grammar subject, which we keep on repeating now and then for the each and every classes, the basic, so that if you can help us out as a for a teacher, taking a sessions, if you can let us know, I'll be very thankful to you.
Thank you, Tasneem ma'am. And teachers are the heart and soul of our ecosystem. They're the heart and soul of every school's ecosystem. So we definitely have a lot of beneficial programs for teachers as well. So in the chat box, I will request my colleague Tushar to put a link on how you can register your interest. And once you register your interest, you will get to understand the host of offerings that we have. So every time we work with the school, we not only work with the children of the school, but also with the teachers of the school. So the teachers receive webinars and trainings and a mobile app through which they can understand and implement newer ideas to bring dry things like grammar alive in the classroom, and also newer ideas to help integrate grammar better into language learning. Like I said, Freedom Live is an immersive language learning program. So what happens is that we help children realize that grammar is not only something that exists in a grammar book. We help children realize that grammar is something that's the base of the language, and it's as alive in reading and conversation as it is in your grammar period. So yes, there are a host of things available for teachers as well, Tasneem ma'am. So I would request you to fill in the form to avail all those benefits.
Yeah. If personally I'm getting anything on the WhatsApp, I'll personally do that. And thank you for your advice, and thank you. Really, thanks a lot.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for your gratitude.
We had Darshi Vora as well, who has raised her hand. Can we
Good
have the question from you?
good evening, Aditi, and so nice to see you in
You
action.
too. I have
Uh,
to share a secret with the community. Darshi ma'am is my very first teacher. She was my teacher in kindergarten, in nursery. A lot of who I am is because of her, and
Very
it's so incredible and so magical to find you here. Thank you so much for coming.
welcome, always very nicely talked, Aditi. My only question is, right, the NEP policy which says now to include the mother tongue with the English language. So the question of worry is that the children are having a lot of difficulty in understanding even the mother tongue also at present. So how are we going to implement this mother tongue along with this? Because English is now a universal language, and the children have to be fluent in English so that they can sail out in better way in other countries also, and within our framework also. But the NEP policy says that Gujarati or whatever mother tongue has to be inculcated within the subjects also. So it's a question of worry because like Gujarati also we speak like 10 different ways to in Gujarati. None of the Gujarati is the correct Gujarati again. So it's a question of worry, and we are a huge, massive populated country with so many diversified language. So the
Agreed,
government has
agreed.
to think
Really
about,
agreed.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful question, Darshi ma'am and Dasmi ma'am. And uh, so, like I said, our approach to English is that of a skill. So, when we talk about reading, we have divided reading into 5 subcomponents. So, you have your phonics, phonemic awareness, vocab, fluency, and comprehension. When we teach children, especially the little ones, when we teach them phonemic awareness, we help children club themselves in batches where the children's mother tongue is also known to the teacher, and the teacher can build the knowledge of English using the mother tongue, especially in the age group of 3.5 to kind of 5.5. What we do is, there is a slight bilingual approach to begin with. And then, so say, for example, if a class is, say, 40% bilingual and 60% in English to start with, and then that ratio kind of diminishes over time and becomes more in English and less in the mother tongue. Also, because we have the privilege of being a program which is, supplementary to the curriculum that happens in the school, uh, we can also work with the school's teachers in kind of identifying the gaps in language instruction that exist in the school, and then cater to those gaps specifically in the Freedom Life classes. So, we are, because we are an out of school system, we are not extremely bound by certain constraints that schools will be bound with. Also, on the Freedom app, there is a lot of focus on listening. So the content that a child can access on the app is in text form, in audio form, and in video form. And even parents who don't understand English can use the app to kind of listen to the stories with the children and see stories with children. So, we have common problems like, say, for example, accent. So we have problems like children always having to use 2 languages to get a point across. So the input, if the input is good listening, the output is better pronunciation and better speaking. So that's how the ecosystem also comes together. And we also work with the teachers of the school, and empower them with different strategies that they can implement in the classrooms while teaching the normal English curricula, uh, you know to kind of to boost the way in which children learn English.
True, true. Thank you so much, and all the best to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. We have another question lined up for you. Before that, I would just like to read out some contact details so that people can get in touch with the Stones to Milestone and Freedom. So the website for them is getfreedom.com. Freedom is spelled as FREADOM for clarification of everybody. So it's getfreedom.com, and the email ID is go@getfreedom.com. There's another email ID that they can be reached at, that is Tushar, that is TUSHAR at stones2milestones.com. The team of Future School Leaders has also posted the link, survey link, which you can fill up. Like Aditi said, that you can fill it up, and they would get in touch with you. They would love to get in touch with you with your specific requirements, and I'm sure it will be a good way for you to also understand that what are the offerings that the team of Stones to Milestone and Freedom has for you. With that, we move forward to our next question.
Sure.
So Dr. Yogita Sarwal is asking, there have been so many apps and online programs in this direction of late. So how do you stay afloat in such great competition? I think everybody wants to know what your USP is.
It's like, what is your secret sauce? And can you give me your secret
Yes.
sauce right now? Thank you, Yogita ma'am, and thank you for being a wonderful participant throughout. Your comments have been extremely motivating. Thank you so much. Yogita ma'am, Stones to Milestones as an organization, we are 10 years old. Uh, we started by creating, small reading programs for schools. We started working with after school centers. Then we tailored the program. Then we started working with schools. We first worked with 7 schools, then made the program better, then went to 20 schools, then made the program better, went to 35 schools. And then when we were convinced about what we had to offer and the whole ecosystem, we exploded to over 200, 250 schools in the country. And so far on the Freedom Live learning ecosystem, we have impacted over 6,500 kids just in a span of 6 months. So it is our rich legacy, and the fact that we are education first and not tech first, that helps us stay afloat. So the way our teachers are trained, the way our content is designed, the way we know how each and every age group learns, and we have worked with schools across the country, and so we know the needs of specific regions, and we know the aspirations of the parents, and we are able to cater to that. Also, our approach is very different. It is English as a life skill and not English as a subject. When we teach English as a subject, we're literally saying that, okay, I'll teach you, you're using a Gulmohar textbook, this is the chapter, this is how you read it, and this is how you answer the questions at the end of the chapter, right? So there is a joke where a school administrator goes to a class and he says, okay, teachers, I want your children to read something from the textbooks, I want your children to read something. And the teacher is asking, sir, do you want the children to read with the books or without the books? That's kind of saying that the children just memorize what is there in front of them and not really read or comprehend, right? So our focus and our USP and the decade-long research that we have done in arriving at this right formula is something that we hope will continue to keep us afloat. There is also a lot of reporting that we do with the parents and the teachers, that is very important to bring out here. At every point in time, the teacher and the parents are always aware of how the child is performing and how a class of a school is performing. So that transparency is something that is also one of our USPs.
All right. Thank you so much. I think we have one final question of the evening by Nisha Singh. Ma'am, would you
Sure.
like to unmute yourself and go ahead?
Yes, thank you, Namrata. Hello, good evening, Aditi ma'am.
Hi.
Thanks for lovely and energetic session. Uh, yeah, so I have seen different English learning tools in Freedom, having providing student blogs and also introducing them to news is something which is very unique and makes Freedom app very beautiful. Um, through the Freedom app, I am sure you must be having a lot of student responses for comprehension and for grammar topics. So I want to understand, how are you using this student performance data to improve teaching learning in schools? Like, have you seen any trend or any pattern? Like, I just want to understand that.
Thank you, Nisha. I think it's an incredible question. The answer lies on the Freedom app itself. So do download it and see it after I have spoken. So on the app, every time a child does a story or an activity, after that, they're presented with a set of questions. And each question is tagged to a specific skill. So say, for example, they've done an activity pack called, comprehend with fun. They've done an activity, they've learned a comprehension strategy, and then they have answered questions after that particular activity. And these questions are tagged to their comprehension skills. So on the app itself, there is a skill chart that shows you your child's progress from beginning to incrementally how the child is getting better and better. Now, along with this data and along with the remember I showed you slides about the children's performance, how children in grade 4 and grade 5 are performing in English. Along with that data, we're a very dynamic organization, so we know exactly where where we have to plug the gap. And so the content and the lesson plans that we design to be taught in the live classes cater to those pieces. The kind of content partnerships we form on the Freedom app ensure that children have a variety of reading material to read and use. And the most beautiful part is that the data is obviously name agnostic, city agnostic. We kind of look at data as just grade level chunks, so the confidentiality of the child is and everything else related to them is completely preserved. And this data also forms the basis of the progress report that we send to parents in the live classes. So we know that we are catering to these kind of comprehension skills, these kind of vocabulary skills, these kind of these kind of confidence abilities, and this is what the parents want to know, and that's exactly what we report on. So we use data quite intelligently to report on what the holes are, how they've been plugged, and to show children's progress quite objectively to the teacher community, parent community, and the schools.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha ma'am. Wonderful question.
Thank you so much. I think I'll just now take this opportunity and talk to our lovely audience about the upcoming 3 days digital summit called as Influence. Over the past January, including today's session, I think we have realized that how important these sessions are and how motivating it is for us also to learn from each other, influence each other. I think the Q&As always have been a platform where the audience has also learned, and the speakers and I myself as a moderator have always learned something. So we have the 3 days digital summit coming up in the month of February. It is known as Influence, and it is scheduled from 26 to 28 February from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening. In fact, I would request the team of future school leaders to showcase our speakers who we have lined up for the summit. Thank you so much, team. You can always go to the website www.futureschoolleaders.in and sign up. The registrations have been open for quite some time now, so we have very, very limited seats left. But I would definitely love to see all our participants who have joined us for this series over there as well. The link for the registration has also been posted on the chat box. You can go to the website. The link is right there, and you can register. Thank you so much. I think, Aditi, we have had a wonderful way to conclude, this series that we have, this Masterclass 4.0. I do not think that, summarizing every, like I said, I'm at a loss for words right now. I'm so sorry, but it is just that maybe I should sign up for freedom.
Come, Namrata, we'll welcome you with open arms. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for giving us the platform for this incredible interaction. If school leaders are interested, the form is on the chat. Do fill in. Do reach out to us at tushar@stones2milestones.com. It's the number 2 between the word stones and milestones. And we hope with Freedom Live, your children are able to convert stones to milestones and just proceed beautifully into the world.
Thank you so much, Aditi. We have learned a lot today about something that we have always taken for granted, I must say. And it is always good to know. I think what inspired us today in this session was not about you and your team, but the way that children have been responding. It's always good to learn back from the children, I'll say, and know that, yes, these things work. Like how you said that over the past 6 months, you have influenced almost 6,500 students. And I think that is a USP, right? Your children are your cheerleaders, which basically makes sense. It just says that yes, this works. This works. Just go for it. It is simple and it works.
I
I
love
think
it.
that is what
Children
we
are our
need.
cheerleaders. Namrata, I'm going to steal that statement from you if you don't mind. Thank you so much.
Oh, patent pending. My pleasure to host you today. Thank
It
you for
was a
taking out the
pleasure.
time and
Pleasure.
engaging with us.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and thank you so much to our participants as well.
Bye bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye. Thank you, dear participants. It was wonderful moderating for you. It was wonderful hosting all these amazing speakers with you. I think I learned a lot from the speakers as well as the participants. Your questions were always very poised, very pointed, and very provoking. We look forward to similar participation in our upcoming sessions. The team of I and the team of future school leaders. Thank you and look forward to working with you again. Have a great evening and have a great month ahead.
Bye.